Hey guys, it's Ray Ray Sims here, and I have another video for you guys. This one is a little bit different than any other build that I've ever done, but I kind of liked it. It was kind of interesting, and it was definitely kind of hard to figure out the way I wanted it to look because I started off with an image I found on Pinterest, and it's a super complicated image of like this modern building, and there are a bunch of levels because there's the entrance level, and then it goes up another level to the pool area, then it goes up another level to the house area. So basically it's very complicated and complex, and I saw that and I was like, okay, well, of course I'm going to do that. I love complex things because I'm crazy and I like to do the craziest builds I can, apparently. So I decided just to give it a try, just try it out. And it actually, like, it turned out okay. Like, it doesn't look like great, but like I think it looks decent. Obviously decent enough to, make a video of it. But I think in real life this is a hotel, possibly. But honestly, on this lot, I couldn't make it that big. I could only make it the size of a house just because I ended up using so much of the lot for the front yard area because the front is so complex. So I just spent most of my effort on the front, and then by the time I got to the actual house, the actual building, it was super close to the edge of the lot, and I was like, well, I'm definitely not going to be able to make a hotel-sized building out of this, and I thought, oh, just make it a house because might as well. I mean, my favorite thing to build are houses anyways. So here I take the Pristine pedestal, and I want to put it underneath the ground, underneath that second level there, but it's a little bit too tall. So what I do is I lower the terrain down a tiny bit just so it fits right underneath, and I'm able to put the ground over top it. So now I'm just trying to create this kind of waterfall sort of object here, and this was in the picture, something like it. I couldn't obviously create the same exact thing, but I thought I did a pretty decent job, and it's just kind of like more of a modern kind of statement decoration piece, I guess. I usually don't do things like that, so that was a little bit fun for me just to try. So this whole build was kind of a little bit different than things I've done, so it made me a little bit uneasy because I'm like, oh, unsymmetrical, and it's very, very white, very blocky. I usually go for the roofs. I usually go for some sort of symmetry and kind of similar theme throughout, but this was kind of different than that. And luckily, thanks to the sale, the origin sale, I was able to get Spa Day for 50% off. So I definitely used that in this build. This was the first build that I've done since I've had it. So it was really nice to have the wallpaper, the like glowing wallpaper, and I used that. And then I realized in the picture that the walls are kind of like ombre blue to white, and I was like, well, that's not a thing in The Sims. So I did a combination of this glowing white wallpaper from the Spa Day pack and one of the ombre wallpapers that come with the base game, and it's like definitely a paint style. Like the swatch is definitely for indoors, but I just decided to be creative and just kind of go for it. So I went for it. And over here right now I'm creating the kind of side area with where the plants are going to be, and there's a lot of plants in this. There was a lot of plants in the picture, so I was like, okay, I'm going to try that. And it was kind of hard because I did have to work with levels here, and you can't connect two foundations of different heights. So what I ended up doing is, thank goodness for the terrain tool, because I put these two different heights right next to each other with one in between, with one empty space in between, and then I was able to raise the terrain up so it looks like it just flows right from that one up to the other. So it kind of was super perfect in that way. And now I'm starting to create the layout of the house. I was trying to get it to match the picture as much as I could, but it didn't, obviously didn't work out perfectly. One thing with The Sims is that you have these certain units that you have to stick to, like it can only be one unit ahead or one unit behind and stuff like that, but sometimes in real life it'll be sort of half of a unit, and you just can't do that. So that's okay because I just kind of worked with it. So I definitely took liberties in making the back because I can't see the back in the picture and I couldn't really find it anywhere else. So what I ended up doing is I just kind of went for it. I went creative. Definitely doesn't match this front too much, but I'm okay with it. I tried to go for something a little bit different. Didn't want to be the same in the front and the back. That's kind of boring anyways. And right now it's definitely sort of looking like a boring hotel, but I think as I add some color and some details and stuff, it kind of looks more like a real house. And I think as I add the plants and the landscaping around it, it definitely looks more like a place someone would actually live than just, kind of like a hotel or apartment building that it's sort of looking like right now. So yeah, I definitely took, like I said, I took some liberties in trying to lay out the house and lay out the side. And there was this corner piece of the side that was diagonal, so I did add that. I couldn't add as much as I wanted to because it was trailing off the edge of the lot, so I was able to move the whole lot up just a little bit, like a tad, but that didn't help me that much because that way I was just able to have a spot in the back where it didn't look like the building was just like coming all the way to the edge. I was able to have some more space back there, and then I was able to place some pristine pedestals over there too, just to kind of smooth that transition from the house down to the main ground level. So yeah, I'm figuring out the doors that I want to put in right now because there are no doors that are perfectly matched with these black windows, but I think I did a pretty good job in picking which ones I thought fit, and I tried to kind of match the colors. I didn't end up matching the colors of the doors to the windows. That's one thing that I like really always try to do, match the doors to the windows, and I'm working on letting that go because, houses can't be perfect. I think if I were to build this house without a image that I was basing this off of, I would definitely do white windows instead of black. So this was different, but I wanted to do what it looked like in the picture. So I did go off what it looked like, and I ended up with the black windows, and that made it a little bit harder because I had to go with the black doors, but then I decided it's okay. I can relax. I don't have to do this exact black everything around. So I did change it up a little bit, and that's what it would normally be in real life. So I was glad I was able to let myself do that because I go a little bit crazy with the symmetry and kind of the same kind of style throughout. And, not every house has the same exact window 20 times on it, and that's what makes houses in The Sims look like they're sort of unrealistic because you have that option to have the same windows everywhere, but yet that's not what it would be like in real life anyways. And I didn't really think about that. I always thought like, well, I can make this house perfect, so I should. But the more that I thought about it, I realized that that doesn't really make sense at all because if you look in the houses in real life, it's not like that. These houses have character to them. They're varied throughout the house. There are different windows. There are different size windows, and nothing is placed perfectly. It can't always be symmetrical. Believe me, I love it when it is symmetrical. Like a fake door or a fake window to make the outside of a house symmetrical is like everything. I love that so much. But, you can't always have it. And that's okay because, this house isn't just to look at. It's also to live in. It needs to be functional. And I think it does make more sense to put function over the way it looks. So, yeah. I believe this house has 5 bathrooms and 7 bedrooms, if I'm correct. I might be completely wrong, but I guess we'll see when I decorate the interior. So it definitely ends up being a decent-sized house. I knew it was going to end up being big from the beginning just because it's supposed to be a hotel anyways, but it did end up being smaller than I thought it would be, and that's also just because of the way that the house almost ran over to the edge of the lot, so it ended up having to be cut short a little bit. So it's long, but it's definitely kind of narrow. Like when you go from the front of the house to the back of the house, there's not that much space, but there is a lot of space alongside it. And what I did here is I'm adding the walls now, and I have this foundation, the one that doesn't stick out. I love that foundation. For some reason, it just bothers me when that foundation has that little stick out thing, and I know a lot of the patterns have them, so sometimes I just have to settle for that, but I definitely prefer the ones that don't have it. And here I'm adding sort of these little covered areas, and I'm going to place some living chairs underneath them, and some of them will have loungers underneath them. So I just thought that was a pretty cute detail to add to this build. And in a little bit, I'm going to start figuring out the whole plant situation. I'm first going to fill in dirt, and instead of going with the terrain paints this time, I went YOLO, and then I added the dirt colored flooring. I think it's called like the basement floor or something, and that's like my favorite thing to use. One of my favorite floorings to use outside, because it's so much easier than trying to paint, and the paint just gets super annoying sometimes. And if you want to have this curved area that has dirt, it's a lot easier just to kind of do this bathroom colored pattern. So I'm definitely going to do that in a little bit, and then I create this super elegant plant area just surrounding like almost the entire build. And not only are there plants up in the level of the pool area, but there are also plants that are going to be all surrounding the front part of the sides, just at the base level of the house. And here I am just adding some more detail. You know, I love adding my detail to my builds. And I have some half walls over here too. I was deciding what I wanted to do, if I wanted to do half walls or I wanted to do fences, but neither were working for me, and I preferred the half walls because it was a lot easier just to make them super plain, super white, no pattern at all. So I decided to go for that. And here I'm creating this side area that I'm attaching stairs to, and that side area is going to lead down to another grassy area. And you'll see later what I do with the grass area is I would do again the same thing I do with the connecting the foundations of different heights. What I do is I take the terrain and I level that up to the same level, and I connect it to a foundation, and the foundation is covered in the grass pattern. So it looks like you're going down to the ground, but you're really not, because this is just the grass that's raised, and it's a lot easier than having to raise the terrain. And because I place the pristine pedestals around that area, it makes it a lot more complicated just to have to raise them, have them all be the perfect height with the terrain raised up and stuff, and that like would not be possible with changing the terrain and placing these big objects. So I do end up just placing these objects and then putting in the foundation and pretending that is a terrain, but you can't really see the drop off because it's covered by the pristine pedestals. And that's one of my favorite things to do in the builds, is just make it all super fancy and super extra. And I just added a bench right there just to cover up the place where I couldn't place the flooring. I didn't realize I wasn't going to be able to place flooring in the area in between the pool and the foundation there, but it's okay, it all worked out. I like that, the way that the benches kind of add that like sleek whiteness to it. So it worked out anyways. And of course, on some of the areas where the terrain is slanted, I can't place that floor piece, the basement looking floor piece that looks like dirt. So what I ended up doing is I just cover that with plants anyways, and the basement flooring I mostly just use to kind of separate what I know is going to be a plant area, but I usually just end up covering it in plants anyways, so it doesn't really matter that much. And here I am going to make this kind of area down the stairs that I was talking about earlier, the one that I am going to end up connecting down to the grassy area, the fake grassy area. And one issue I have with this build is those walls. They just couldn't, the half walls can't connect to the foundation piece, or else it'll raise up the wall trim super high, which looks kind of weird, but I mean, it ended up being okay, because what I did is I just took plants and I placed them near them, so like you can't really see it anyways. And I think for some of the places I took the pristine pedestal and covered it up anyways, so it worked out. But it was just kind of odd, and it's okay, because you know I'm just gonna figure out a way around it if something doesn't work. That's always the way it is in The Sims, and I kind of love it like that. Oh, here I am. Yeah, I fix it with the pristine pedestal. And then here I am just kind of figuring out what I'm going to do next. Let's see what I'm going to do next. I don't even know. I don't remember. I think I'm working down here now in down the stairs area, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to place some more pristine pedestals there, just so that it kind of extends down to that area, and then the area is nice and kind of sleek down there as well. So yeah, I'm realizing that, oh no, I can't fix the terrain. So I raise up just some objects. Yeah, here we go. So I have the stairs that are leading down to this area as well. So this is kind of the area where everything sort of connects. down together, and this does actually take me a while, so you guys get this if it's boring. I think it ends up being pretty boring, but I have this like room down there that you might be able to see. Originally I intended that to be sort of a bathhouse. I didn't end up actually furnishing it at all, but you can always change it into something that you want. I just left it kind of blank, left it up to you. I didn't really know if you wanted to put a bathhouse there or anything like that. I mean, I think it would be great for that, but it's up to you. I mean, I build the house. I'm not intending to play in it, but if you guys want to download it and play in it, then you can obviously have the freedom to make it whatever you want. Oh, and here I am. I'm about to create this grassy area that I'm talking about. So I know I want it to be cut off by the pristine pedestals just to make the terrain look pretty smooth. But then I realized, I can't raise up this area with the actual terrain and have the pristine pedestals be right next to it. So I do end up having to flatten most of that area, and then what I do is I place an actual foundation piece, and I do that without the foundation underneath it by having a room under it, and then adding the floor piece above it, and then deleting the room underneath it. And that way I have this foundation piece without the actual foundation underneath it. So I'm about to do that after I fix this area over here. And yes, these blocks are definitely a pain to work with. They just do not do what you want them to do ever. So that is a little bit of a pain for me, and that's kind of frustrating, but it's okay. It all works out in the end. It just takes some time. Basically, anything you want to do in The Sims, you can do. It just depends on, how much time you're willing to put into it and how much time you want to put into it. Anyways, I have a lot of free time, especially now in quarantine. I'm not doing much at all, so I was like, why not make all these crazy builds? That's why I decided to go for my falling water build, and I decided to kind of just create things that I've never created before, kind of like super modern builds. I never really did that before. So I was like, you know what? If there's any time, it's now. So just kind of went for it. And I'm putting my plants in. So in the picture that I was referencing, the ground area where the trees were near the pool was just kind of this grassy area. So I decided to go for this kind of patch of grass that came with Island Living, and I was thinking of adding something else to it, but then, I figured it's kind of minimalist in the picture, so I didn't want to distract really just from the grass and the trees. And right now I have the base game trees, but I do end up changing it to the trees that come with Island Living because I thought that because there's more of a variety of them, it would look a little bit better. I didn't really want it to look like the same tree over and over again, which is kind of looking like here because, it is the same tree. But luckily, Island Living comes with 3 different of the tall trees and a whole different short tree version of it. So I'm glad I was able to use that. And I turned it around, turned each one around a little bit, and so that it looked kind of different from every angle. And that's what I like doing with all my plants. I don't want it to all face the same direction or else it will look repetitive. And sometimes that happens with the flooring. The floor patterns will just end up looking super repetitive. So I try not to do that with the plants because I actually have the control to change that. So I do end up doing that. And here I am. I just switched. Here I am doing what I was talking about, placing this sort of ground area, making it look like it's real terrain, but it's really not. And I kind of like this trick because it just makes it a lot easier. And there I am, straightening out the terrain to make it even from the foundation piece to the actual terrain, which I was talking about earlier. Probably really confusing when I was talking about it without any actual visual, but there it is. So I switched really fast from, now I'm deleting the trees. Sorry guys, I need to work on my editing skills. I go from one thing to another and it's literally crazy, but that's how I am building. I'm like, trees, plants. Wait, I want to add this foundation piece. Wait, pristine pedestals over here. And I just go crazy and I'm like, I'm already onto another totally random thing. I apologize for that. Obviously, I'm not experienced in editing videos or filming videos or anything like that. So bear with me, please. I'm sure it will get better and it will get easier as I learn from my mistakes, obviously. And unfortunately, these are my mistakes. So sorry, guys. Anyways, back to the build. Oh, right now I'm adding the wallpaper I was talking about, and you can see how there's sort of this like crowning, but on the bottom of the room. What is that called? I know, isn't crowning on the top? I don't know. Maybe it's on the bottom too. That white area there. So it's a little bit annoying just to have that be there, but it obviously is meant for indoors, indoor flooring, so, or wallpaper. So, oh well, just trying to be creative, trying to fit it to the picture as much as I could. Hope it worked. So now I'm just adding a bunch of super random plants all over in the picture. They were kind of like reddish, pinkish, so I decided to go the same with that. And I basically just clear up this entire area like I was talking about before. That area can't have the basement flooring underneath it, so I do just cover it up with plants. And what I did here is I took this a piece of this kind of like pot, I guess, filled with plants, and I raised it up. So it looks like there's an area of dirt over here, but really it's just an object, and it's not even an object in build mode, it's an object in buy mode. So it's just one of those like plant decor pieces. So I just thought that was pretty cool. Raise it up, then it looked like I have all these pots in there that I didn't even do. I just added. So thought that was kind of perfect. And here we go with bunch more of the grass, the little grass thingies, and yep, they were super annoying to place. I didn't want to place them all facing the same direction, so I look crazy turning each one around. I turn it like forwards, backwards, left, right, like all over each time, and I look totally crazy doing that, but it's fine. It worked, and I just did not want that repetitive pattern, but now that I think about it, it doesn't make sense whether I do that anyways or not, at least in that area, because it's all covered by plants anyways. So silly me. Oh, and here I am creating kind of a fake staircase down there with the pristine pedestals because I wanted to create kind of this idea that, oh, it's a smooth transition into the pool, and in The Sims 4 they don't really have that, but you can always create the facade of that. So that's what I ended up doing with these little blocks here. And you end up using the name Pristine for the description of the house. I think it's called, let's see. Oh, it says it right there, Pristine Paradise, right in the top left corner. I was like, I don't know what to name this, and of course I'm going to go with my alliteration, so, I use a million of pristine pedestals in this, why not call it Pristine Paradise? And it's very pristine, super white, super bright, so I just decided to go for that. Oh, and here I am doing the ground area, just like I was talking about before, how I have plants on the ground, I have plants near the pool, I have plants next to the house, lots of plants, plants and plants and plants. And I kind of like that because it kind of balances out that super white. So it's not just like this house is only white is allowed around this house. There's a little bit of some darker colors with the green and some more color in here with the red and the pink from the flowers. So that's just what I'm doing here. And yep, pretty boring, just repetitive. I really need to work on editing my videos and, cutting out the boring parts that no one cares about, but it's fine. And behind this, that waterfall over there, I just put some stone. I think it was a pattern that came with Island Living. And that's kind of what it looked like in the picture, but I was like, well, I can't really make a background of a fountain. So I added a half wall there and then I put the pattern in. So that was kind of perfect. Oh, and here we go with the windows. I definitely was like, very confused about what to do with the windows. So it definitely took me a while, but I did know that I wanted to, I left that, I gave up. I'm going back to it later. I was like, not dealing with this right now. So I did know that I wanted to have those vertical lines like they had in the actual picture. And I decided to add that to the back too. And they were blue in the picture, but unfortunately they were not offered in blue on this actual object. It came with Get Famous. I love it so much. And that was okay because I just went with gray, go with the flow. You can't make everything perfect. So here I am just figuring out how the back is kind of going to look like it matches with the front, but not making it exactly the same as the front. I added some different doors in the back, and I ended up just going with a little bit different kind of style, but it still matches. It still looks like it's the same building. And, here I am like, I'm going to change all the stairs, and then I was like, yeah, never mind, I'm definitely not going to do that. And oh yeah, the roof wouldn't fit over the whole thing. I don't know what happened, but I was like, okay, well, it's fine, I'm just going to put half wall on the sides, when in doubt, add a half wall to fix a roof. that's definitely what I did over like most of the whole build. And this was kind of my first time adding a half wall, like on top of the roof, like almost over all of the roof area. And it was kind of interesting. I never really done that, but it was kind of like that in the picture. So I decided to, just go for it. And it kind of looked cool. And I think I might do it again. It just kind of cuts away from some of the roof. So I think it depends on the height of your roof, because this roof, well, I made it a little bit flatter. It didn't really work that well. So it looked kind of weird from the half wall going, up to that slope area there. Just kind of a jump. But, here I'm adding my fountain. Of course, my fountain. And thank goodness for the spa day going on sale, because this like floor piece I'm so obsessed with. All the builders that use it, I'm like, please give it to me. And I would have bought like spa day just for that. I love it. And I don't know why, it's just so beautiful. Like, look, it just separates out a whole area. I just think it's so beautiful. Right now I'm just admiring it so much. I think it makes a big difference. And I think changing up the floor patterns in builds can make a huge difference in it. So I just thought that was something that was super cool that I definitely needed to use, especially now that I got my new Spa Day pack. And I realized that I said that this was the first build that I did with Spa Day, but I'm pretty sure halfway through my falling water build, I got Spa Day too, because I remember adding a spa to the side of the house anyways. So I don't know why I was thinking that, but it's not even true. I just don't have a good short-term memory. But here I am, just adding some more little details, figuring out what I want to do with that side there. I was originally going to have the people not be able to walk onto that balcony there, but then I was like, you know what, I need to put something there anyways. Why not put a door? It's fine. It's not going to ruin anything. So here I am creating this little outdoor area, and I thought there was just super little cute area because I have this coffee table, but it looks like it's like a heater in the middle of it, doesn't it? I think it's supposed to be. I don't know. I don't read the descriptions of the objects, but I was like, oh, it's so cute. It's perfect. You can have a little area to heat you up. And I added some of the spa day chairs. And now that I remember it, yes, I definitely used some of the spa day items in the falling water build, because I had those same exact lounge chairs in the pack, in the build from the pack. So, oh well. So just working on the back a little bit more. And after this, I do go into the interior. And one thing that takes me forever in the interior is just the layout and figuring out like what I want to put where, and where's some of the kitchen gonna go, and how am I gonna figure out the bedrooms and the bathroom situation, because I do want some bathrooms that are en suites, but I don't want all of them, because some of them, have to be entered by guests, and some of them, maybe 2 bedrooms have to share a bathroom, so they can't all be en suites. One of them has to come from the hallway so that 2 of the bedrooms can share them. But I definitely did that off camera because it took me a while, and that usually takes me a while, so I end up usually doing that off camera. But I mean, if you want to see how I usually do it, just let me know, because I can always do that. But I just feel like it's pretty boring, and most people don't want to see that. I spend too much time doing that anyways. Like, guys, if you're ever building, do not spend that much time figuring out the layout of a house. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. It does not matter that much. I mean, to me, the layout is super important. I think I'm like really obsessed with it for some reason, just because I'm like, oh, well, spatial relations, and like everything has to be like the most efficient it can be. But like, really, does it? No. Oh, and I love this fountain that I created back here. I made it kind of like going back and forth from both directions. And then I added some little plants to make it look a little more natural. And I kind of wish that the Sims were able to like walk around that fountain area, because it's just so pretty. But unfortunately, the Pristine pedestals, you cannot walk on those. And I decided to use the spa day counters in the kitchen. I don't know. I feel like if I were to do the kitchen again, I would use the island living counters that I used in the outdoor cooking area with the grill, just because this house is, although it's white, it's not like the most modern house ever. So I don't really think the counters kind of match that, especially because they're kind of dark. But I mean, like, it looks fine. And I mean, I'm glad I changed it up in some way. So I definitely don't regret it that much. But I do love these clear dining chairs that I put near the table. And I'm going to work on the kitchen a little bit longer, but I did decorate the upstairs as well. I decorated a little living area upstairs, and there's also like a couple desks on the side of the hallway. I kind of created that as a little study space, and I did not show me decorating it. I apologize. I started decorating it, and I was like, oh no, I did not record that entire thing. So that is cut out, but you can always see what it looks like in the screenshots. It's not a big deal. It's not like a super huge integral part of the house. So like, it's fine. You know, if you want to check it out, you can download it. You can always look at it yourself. So, yeah, I just wanted to let you know, like, I did decorate more than it seemed like I did. I didn't do any of the bedrooms, obviously, because I'm just really bad with bedrooms. And I mean, I know some people love bedrooms, decorating them the most, but I'm not that person. I like decorating everything but the bedrooms. Sometimes I'll do everything except the bedrooms. I'll even do the bathrooms, and I'm crazy, I know. But I don't know. It's just not for me. It's not my favorite thing to do. But I am adding a little half bath over here just for visitors. And over here I end up doing a little living area, and I went a little crazy because I was like, okay, I've done couches with 45-degree angles, but I've never done like an actual sectional with like a total curve. And I'm like betting that this is not functional. I have no idea. I did not try it, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to sit on maybe the 2 end ones and the 3 from the sofa in the very middle, but I don't know how collided these are, and if they're actually functional to be able to for Sims to sit on. I do not know, but you know, if you're curious, try it out and let me know. So I decided to make this the whole big living area. I have the fireplace, and I end up putting the TV there as well, and the coffee table too, of course. And I love these little ottomans that come with spa day as well. Guys, if you're a builder and you're like looking for more objects and you're wondering like which packs to get for building, definitely spa day. I didn't get that pack as my first pack. I got for my first game pack, I got Jungle Adventure because I love the plants that come with it for building, and I got Realm of Magic because I loved just like the windows and like how fancy everything was. So I definitely recommend going for spa day as well. I kind of regret not getting that first, but you know, I mean, I think it was kind of worth it. It was 50% off, so that was pretty great. But obviously, if you are wondering which packs to get, you don't have any, get the expansion packs first, because those they just come with the most build objects, and that's a fact. So definitely get all of those first. Those would be the top priority. Then you want to go for, in my opinion, first you want to go for the Jungle Adventure and definitely Spa Day. And I think that the Vampires pack and the Realm of Magic pack are both good ones to go for. Also, I'm pretty sure those are the only ones I have now. Like, I love building, I love The Sims, but I don't have every pack. I don't have any of the stuff packs. To me, it's just not that worth it. And I feel like there's a lot of pressure just to, like, own everything. But, I mean, like, it's just expensive, you know? Like, sometimes, like, I am willing to spend money on Sims, but I just don't think I'm willing to spend that much. And, I mean, you can love Sims and not have enough money and still be able to enjoy it and play it and everything. So, I just think that if you are going to go for some of the packs, you know, go for the ones that you think that you'll definitely get the most out of. And before I buy a pack, sometimes when all of them go on sale, I'm not going to buy every single one. So when they go on sale, I'll look it up and I'll see which ones have the most objects, or like the best objects for build and buy mode that I definitely want. And here I am. Oh, I was frozen. Doing the wallpaper, and I just did the flooring. I did the tile that is the same tile that leads to that path out there. And symmetry, of course. I wanted a mirror to be the same size as the door on the other side because I didn't want to put a door there. Oh, and here we go. Already, these are the screenshots. I did not show me recording the upstairs, but you can always check that out in the screenshots, and you can download this on the gallery. I really hope you guys liked it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.